Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Petty Cash Podcast. I am your host for this week, Vinny, a.k.a. VCG Cosplay. Joining me today, as always, are my good friends, Danny, Joseph, and Charles. Guys, how are we doing today?
Hello.
Hello.
Up.
It's been a rough week.
I know, it looks like it.
It looks like it.
It was an early morning for me, at least. Sounds like it's been an early morning for all of us, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it today. Joe, why don't you start?
What? No, I mean, pretty much I had to practice this morning. Trained my two guys, Oscar and Ari. Went for about hour and a half. The heat was picking up. Then I ran 3 miles after that. So,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah. So I gorged myself with a blueberry muffin. But anyway, hot potato. Back to you, Vinny.
Oh, God. So this last 2 weeks, I've been working on overtime from 6 a.m. to 4:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. So it's been a little bit of a rough time for me.
Yeah, because you usually get off at like 2:30, right?
Yeah, 2:30 is the usual cutoff time. At times, I'll say from 3:30 to 4:30 as a normal thing, but to do it every single day, even stay till 5:30 on a Friday, the weekday.
No,
weekend.
Back-to-back overtime hours is rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Danny, do you have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, so this is the first time in 3 years I've done this is the second time with recently, but I'm starting to audition again for plays and musicals around the valley, and I had an audition last night, and thankfully I was on the callback list, so that's why I was up at 8 a.m. this morning, and hopefully by either tomorrow or Monday night I'll find out if I'm in a show again.
We hope you get it.
Nice, yeah. Hopefully.
Charles, anything?
Not really. It was actually a pretty chill morning for me. So
lucky you.
Yeah.
He's like, well, laddie.
Cartoon Blue Jays and everything. What a great, illustrious morning.
I mean, I was watching Critical Role, but aside from that, yeah, it was just PJs, some cereal, and just chilling on the couch.
Oh boy, Saturday morning cartoons.
I loathe you right now. I don't just want to sit down and love you right now. But
Don't have a crappy day. That's a pity.
You, Vinny, that sounded a little more like Popeye.
Blow me down. But yeah, no, this morning was just a little bit rough for me. I had to do quick laundry. I had to get myself prepared. Had to print some foam pattern files. And then I go to Jamba Juice to go get something with some whey protein in it and some multivitamin. I got the one kid that's sitting there not giving a shit about his job. You could tell he's slapped shoulder, smiling, hunched. He's just like, he's just doing his fucking job, and then didn't know how to measure. So my smoothie is literally just a slushie, and I had to throw it in the freezer and just let it chill. And then on my way here, this woman pulls out in front of me as I'm making a turn into your apartment complex and almost T-boned me on my driver's side.
She must have been on the wrong side then, because you can only turn left or right on the right side of the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
She was coming right at me,
dude. Yeah, so I'm in the middle, about to turn into Danny's place. So there's other cars are coming, but I'm like, yeah, I can make this. So I'm about to turn, and this lady's immediately about to turn left, right to me, and I'm like, what are you doing? I got here first.
And you could see me hauling ass, making a left blinking turn, I'm coming in, and she still pulls out. I'm like, you son
Wait,
of a
you
bitch.
turned left?
Yeah, because when you're coming from Lindsay.
Oh,
okay,
you
yeah.
came that way.
Lindsay.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
It's the fastest route for me, honest to God.
Yeah.
But then lately,
it's
on
downtown
Riggs
Gilbert.
Road, Chandler Heights, McQueen, all of a sudden they're doing construction work, and it's leading into one lane. So literally, this is the beginning of this weekend. I was stuck in traffic for 30 minutes to an hour just trying to get home.
Just FYI, dude, just download on your phone AZDOT, all the driving stuff. So if they'll
is that
keep,
a
they'll keep
construction update?
they'll keep you up to date all weekly. So thankfully, my work, they had something like that, hey, this weekend, just be prepared if you're going to take the 60 or 101, blah blah blah. They just traffic all around the Phoenix area. So I was like, you know what, just saved it on your phone, so it lets you get prepared. Mentally
That's
prepared.
good to know.
Yeah, good to know.
Possibly a future sponsor for us.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Drivers DOT.
Not brought to you by Drivers DOT.
And yeah, no, and also so some irresponsible folks out there, but you could also download like your driver's license on there. So, I left my freaking wallet at home.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
That's a
be
little
like-
too risky.
Be like, if you've left your wallet, you've probably left a lot more other important things as well. So it's like, like credit cards,
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah, because like one of my friends, Narissa, her account got hacked, and the person who was talking to me on her behalf literally had her picture of her driver's license, trying to act like they were them, and I was like, "You fucker."
So, real quick aside on the whole like hack thing. So I had a little bit of a scare earlier in the week where I got this call from this collections agency, and I looked it
One of
up,
those.
and it was apparently this collections for like government and IRS, like collections for if you're due, past due, and all that. And so I like number one, every single year for. God, I've lost track of how many years now.
Long time.
I always get it. My taxes done professionally by and by a lady, and she has a company and everything, and it's never had any problems. And
Yeah.
so I went and I looked up my credit score and records and all stuff of that. Nothing, not a blip on it. So it's like apparently either this is like an old phone number that is still listed under some idiot or whatever. They're like, this is who we contact. Or B, they gave out my number, like, oh yeah, that's gonna like hide you from not paying your taxes or whatever.
Yeah,
No, usually hate those spam emails that like they kind of listed as Amazon or car insurance like Geico
Yeah.
or something.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
like, you
that-
motherfuckers!
yeah.
Like delete,
Yeah.
delete, like
Delete,
anything
delete.
just suspicious. And it's funny when you read some of the Amazon ones and they can't even speak fucking English.
yeah.
Right,
So
right,
it's just
yeah,
like, nope, gone.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Or the college bill collecting agency saying you have a
gosh.
debt to college. It's like
Nope, I got out debt-free. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah, it's
about.
like, I don't-
constant phone calls every day from a stupid machine.
Oh,
So
love
just
those
block that
telemarketers.
shit.
Yeah, block as many numbers as you can.
Working on it.
You have a debt of $77. No, that's like one way to like do the automated voice is just like pat your lips as you're speaking.
Yeah, that's what they did in The Big Bang Theory.
No, he trilling.
Oh,
That's
right.
what he did.
Okay.
Oh,
I forget. There's this guy on YouTube. I forget who he is, but he kind of like he scams like the scammers or something like that.
yeah,
yeah,
this
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
yes,
He has like
yes,
multicolored hair like every freaking week or something. But no, he's such a treat, and you get to see like the offices he's like completely trolling,
And they freak out.
and they
they
freak the
freak
fuck
out.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
they pull all the cords and everything. It's hilarious.
My favorite one is where he had two people on call scamming each other. Like one person, the other person, both Indian. They're like, what are you calling about? I called you. No, you called me. It's just,
I love the ones with like the pizza places call each
Yes!
other Domino's and
Yes!
Papa John's. Papa John's is better, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's the guy. Scammer payback.
fucking love that. Anyways, so for today's episode, I wanted to talk about something very serious. Now, this is something we all deal with from childhood to adulthood to the day we die, and it's about growth and comfort. What I mean by this is we go through day-to-day lives, day-to-day thought processes of, where we are, where we're going, and we can either stay in a place where we're comfortable and just make the best of it, or we try to do something that's out of our comfort zone to progress ourselves to become much more of a better version of ourselves, a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit stronger, a little bit more will-powered. So that's the kind of topic I want to talk about today with you guys. And the reason why I brought this up is because, there's some decisions I've made in my lifetime every once in a while, if not a lot. And being somebody that has ADHD and high-functioning autism, Asperger's autism, if anyone's curious, you have to keep continuously progressing yourselves to make yourself not only into a much more independent person, but a lot more willing to be an adult, to grow up, to get out of that comfort zone and make the growing up part your comfort zone, pushing for that growth.
Yeah, I can. I want to say I can absolutely relate, but because I still don't 100% know, I can't say for certain. But as someone who more than likely has is somewhere on the spectrum, I can relate. I mean, we all have our comfort zones, but I think a follow-up question or like maybe a clarification more correctly, are comfort zones more so places, or can they involve just things like say my I don't know what's a good example. My car is a comfort zone. I don't know.
So on that topic, I want to say it's all of it. Like, for example, for me, for example, I live at home with my parents because I do not make enough money through my job, and it used to be a comfort zone for a long time. But I want to be able to get my own place. I want to be able to grow as a person and be independent.
So just related to this topic, because usually in my little Balintawak class, there's 4 circles all encompassing the comfort zone and everything. Mm-hmm. So in the center, it's the comfort zone. Outside is the fear zone where you are at. Mm-hmm. And then outside is the learning zone. And then the outside edge is the growth zone. Mm-hmm. So to explain it a little better, I'm just going to go through each and every step. So it'll be quick.
Please do.
So the comfort zone, you basically feel safe and you're in control and you don't want to come out of it or anything. Now, the next circle, the fear zone. So there's a lack of self-confidence. You find excuses and you're affected by others' opinions. Now, step out of that one is the learning zone. You deal with challenges and problems, acquire new skills, extend your comfort zone. And outside of that one is the growth zone. Find a purpose, live the dreams, set new goals, and conquer objectives. So I'm kind of glad that my class posted something like this. This is from the Sigurista chapter that's somewhere over in Asia. And basically, it was nice to kind of relate to this because when I first started in Balintawak in Filipino martial arts, man, I was afraid I was going to be intimidated by others who've been practicing years before me and have more knowledge. And I started with this one about April 2017. Luckily, I broke out of that fear zone because, my life was not going to be just fucking geeks, cosplay, or anything like that. I wanted to try martial arts because it's always been wanted to have a touch of the motherland and all that of the Philippines. So I wanted to train martial arts. So again, got out of that comfort zone. I wanted to try something new. And when you try something new, when you always go to a school and you're afraid and all that, and you're yeah. And so you're kind of okay, 1 week, 1 day, a year, and then I'm out. I'm going to go back and all that. So no, I wanted to keep pursuing, and price was great, but I wanted to extend my knowledge of this, so I kept on going a little more. So after that, fear zone expanded into the learning zone. So now I'm kind of getting a wide variety of what my teacher is explaining to me and what he expects, out of his students and everything. So there's more to it. He put it out perfectly like this. Mike Tyson can only do Mike Tyson, but can he produce another Mike Tyson? Mm-hmm. No. Same goes for Muhammad Ali. And that's where growth zone goes out of, because now I have this ability now. I'm trying to learn how to teach. Now I just got to see if I could, get out of it and reproduce another, student and everything. Mm-hmm. Luke Skywalker failed that one, and then he went back to fucking fear zone all the way to Last Jedi. But no, so that's what you're talking about with you about not leaving, parents' place and everything like that. It's just income, but also you are, you're kind of afraid of the unknown and all that. You kind of don't want to. We all don't want to end up on the streets or anything.
Yeah, right. But I feel like everybody has that just fear of the unknown because, what happens next, or what if I do this?
The fear of failure.
It is. Yeah, there is a fear of failure.
Fear of failure, fear of homelessness, fear of what fear what others may think. Oh God, there's that person and all that fucking up in their life. Leave them out in the streets and everything like that. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to put it out like this. Any of you motherfuckers end up on the streets or anything like that, hell, just for brief, just stay and all that. Just stay. Now, I know I'm in a situation right now, but again, I have backup support. But again, I'm not going to reap the benefits and all that of, just kind of, overstay my welcome, just be a burden and all that, because again, this is temporary. When I was being told, and this is kind of like a little life story, when I was being told by the, previous roommate that, she wanted the place to herself, I was like, oh my God, what's, like if that was younger me, I would have fucking paced around, freaking yell like Steve Carell and 40-Year-Old Virgin, like running around the house like, what the fuck do I do? And all that. No, accepted the fact, but I got to think like, okay, what do I do now? How am I going to rearrange things? Luckily for being in something like this, it was basically a contact shock in life. So fast forward, I wind up back at the house. End up with I'm gonna put it out there, a bitchy stepmom. And so I find myself now back into this, back into a place where I just wanted to get the hell out of, the parents' place.
Yeah.
But again, this was temporary, and I was kind of like, oh my God, I'm kind of, what options do I have? Now I could continue working at the job, save up, and do whatever. And I know there were some people kind of like pressuring me to like get a home loan and all that, just get a home loan. And so I was just like, I was right on the verge of like accepting it, getting everything all done. But then I stopped because I'm like, this is just another fucking bill. And I'm adding more to the fear zone. So what I decided to do now to breach out, sorry, I'm going off on tangents here, but, I decided to join the Air Force. I am going to join the Air Force next year. So I know I'm kind of running on borrowed time. So I know it's going to be kind of scary and all that, but I could withstand 4 years, 4 to 6 or however many years out of my life to do something like this. But I know looking back from it, after it, I just say, hey, I fucking did it. And all the benefits that I'm going to get, it's going to help me.
Well, yeah, that's a huge jump. Like any big any life-altering big decision like that, there comes fear of that. Like, oh, what if I don't succeed? Like, what if something goes wrong? I personally feel that a lot. Like me example, I lived at home for like the first
5 years almost.
I think, the first 25 years of my life, I lived with my parents. My original plan, like, I remember when I was getting ready to graduate from college, I had a friend hit me. I was like, oh, hey, I could use a roommate. Rent isn't too bad. You could, move in January. It's like, oh, I started heavily considering that. And then, of course, 2020 happened, so then I was stuck at home for another year. And it was around late 2020, early 2021 where I finally started sitting down and just looking for somewhere, either like a 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartment if I can find a roommate. And thankfully with my current roommate, we both happened to be looking for a place at the time. It's like, hey, let's just room together. And that's how I currently got my apartment. Like I found someone to room with. And it's been weird, thinking it's now been over a year since I've been out on my own. And I still remember the first few months, I'm like, this doesn't feel like home yet. And the first few months, I was still going back to my parents' house to do laundry. But now I do everything here that I can. I still go back every once in a while to visit my parents. But between, I want to say, late 2020 into summer 2021, I went through the 3 big steps in an adult life. I bought a semi brand new car. It was certified used, but brand new to me. I got a brand new job that paid benefits. It wasn't fast food. And then I got my own place. Technically it's an apartment, but whatever. I hit the adult trifecta within 8 months of all 3 of those things, because I got my car late December 2020. I got that job the month before, and then I moved out late May, early June of last year. It's just so many big life steps happened within the span of a year, and I feel like I'm doing okay. Could I be doing better? I mean, yes, we all could do better, but as someone who more than likely is on the spectrum, I absolutely have my comfort zones. Like, I think that the perfect example for me, I feel like my comfort zone is my phone. Like, I'll just
You're on your phone all day, or
yeah, I'll just
No,
dial
no.
into my phone,
Yeah.
go on social media or watch videos or movies whenever, and like I'll be there because that's what's comfortable to me. It's just like consuming like whatever, like electronic media or whatever. Is it healthy? Absolutely not. I'm trying to be better about it, but it's just one of those things. Like, also, like, my room is a comfort zone. If like I don't have friends over, or if I'm not doing anything, if I don't work out, that's where I am when I'm at home. I'm not on the couch watching TV. I'm not like cooking something, which I do, but like my room is like my comfort zone, my sanctuary, my safe space. That's usually where you'd find me. I'll be laying on the bed doing whatever.
you lazy bum. No, but I totally get it. So the thing is, with your zones, the key to it is at some point, yeah, you need a rest, but at some point you have to stay hungry, find something new, do something, because now I'm on this journey to go on this little weight loss and everything. And it's always nice hearing different others' opinions and suggestions, where to go. Heck, I just went hiking with a friend over to Dobbins Point, and goddamn, that 2-mile hike to the top is fucking ridiculous. Did it last Saturday, and of course the weather picked the hell up. Like, it was getting there, so you could see like my knees about to like fucking collapse and all that. Like, it was.
I would love to do that.
No,
Well,
it
hiking
definitely
is just good for you in general.
Yeah, just to get away from technology and all that, and just go out and live life and everything like that. And when we got to the top, I mean, again, this was like, it was reaching at like 934. Like, it's getting to that 3 digits, and we're just like, okay. Luckily, I have to thank this one Filipino lady, this ASU student, and she was just like, oh my God, did you guys like hiked up all the way up here? And we're like, yeah. She's like, do you guys want me to give you a ride back? And normally I don't like hitchhike, but this was kind of like, sure, why not? But that was like a relaxing 17-minute ride to go down.
Did she pick you up in like an ATV or something?
Huh?
Did she pick you up in like an ATV?
No, just her car. Yeah, you could drive up there, but like it cheats out. Yeah, it cheats out. So the place is Dobbins Point over by Levine, and yeah, no, and it's really, really super nice. As soon as like you get like midway through, and I don't know if you kind of just hum the Lord of the Rings, Bridge of Casa-Doom theme, like you get up there, I know, nerdy shit, and so you kind of look out and you're like, okay, this is awesome.
The misty mountains cold.
You know what? Yeah, we probably did ran into some passing dwarves and hobbits, and some sweaty ass athletes, and goddamn, all the bikers that were probably the cyclers and everything that were like there from like 4:30 in the morning or perhaps earlier than that. And it's ridiculous, but it's funny. Like, there are like neon bright clothes and all that. So like,
well, yeah, they don't want to get like hit by.
Well,
cars
no,
or
no,
something.
yeah, obviously.
and God forbid if anything happens in the mountain and they're wearing clothes that blend into the environment. It's like they call for help and they can't see them down there. Like, where are you?
Maybe that little pink yellow spot right down there.
We're that neon grimp little blimp.
When we started laughing, there was this guy wearing like this little pink crop top and all that. We just started like laughing, like, "Oh my God, this person probably gets his way with the ladies or men, so or whatever they identify themselves." So
I'm not a girl's toy. I'm not. Why do you guys keep saying that?
it was a life-size Ken doll.
You saw Ryan
got
Gosling
it.
up there?
God, that would be weird. Hey, running into Ryan Gosling. Hey, I remember you from Young Hercules, and remember the Titans. I know. No one mentions like his younger stuff. Like, yeah, I remember you from that.
Remember the Titans is a great movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
But yeah, related to the topic, it's like our comfort zones is just to be in a place where we're in control and we know the environment well enough. And, again, thank you, Joe, for training us in the same way you're training for the Air Force, because I'm actually looking into doing that myself. I'm looking into the Air Force, seeing that as an option to progress myself as a better person. And another thing too, like related to, you and me, Danny, having autism, we love our toys. We love collectibles.
Yeah.
And there has to come to a point where when is enough enough?
Right. So, Charles, you looked this up earlier. What was that? What was that called? Is like the compulse to buy things?
Oh shoot, I forget the exact what it was called, but yeah, there's a compulsion to buy things too. It's
we talked about it. Yeah, it was an overconsumption like disorder is what it was.
yeah, there
Like
might have been.
OCD.
Huh?
No,
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 OCD,
that's
but
what the
here,
words
hold
are.
on.
Overconsumption disorder, OCD. I know that's not actually what OCD is, but it's like, oh, that's also an OCD.
Yeah, but they use it as a form of like comfort zone.
Yeah, no, I think we're all a little guilty of that, but I think like me, like I know I'm guilty of that. You've all seen my room, but I will say with all of us with us planning our trip this coming October, it's definitely helped put things in perspective. Like, yeah, I'm definitely trying to spend less, but by doing so and like not going to like get fast food or like just like stopping by Target or Zero Records, just like I feel like going out today.
Compulsive buying disorder, CBD is what it is.
CBD.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's
Thank you.
cannabis.
Huh? Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but
but yeah, for sale insanity is what I mean.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
But yeah, just like not going anywhere except to like grocery shopping and just home. That also like helps me like not want to buy things. I mean, yeah, sure, if I'm like scrolling online and I see something, oh, that's cool. But like I'm starting to do more like, oh, that's it. Oh, that's cool. But I don't buy it or put an order down.
Like
Right.
it feels good passing by, and I'm going to name drop all of your stores out there. It's fun passing by. Like Zia, Bookman's, Half Price, Terra Trader, and sometimes, the GameStop, Target, Walmart. Just,
and now with Spirit Halloween open.
Spirit Halloween open.
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble. Yeah, there's so much like things that you pass by, and you're just like, I'm kind of glad because there's like a big fucking difference with like our accounts and all that, and you're kind of like, again, leading with the comfort zone. Now let's grow this shit. Of course, it's going to take a deep dive in October, but it's we're building up towards something,
Right.
So,
And this has been helping me focus on paying the credit card off for this trip specifically. So it's like
Right, that was
Exactly.
a thing for me too. Like before we went to Mad Monster earlier this summer, like I had like a decent
haul, yeah,
I had a decent haul and I got a decent amount built up in my credits. I'm like, okay, to help prepare for this trip, I decided, okay, to start wiping it clean, I just paid the big amount. That took a big hit out of my bank account, but still, that helped me get closer to like zero. I mean, with the stuff I already paid for, it's hard to be at zero always, but at the very least, try and keep it under $100, $200. Keep it reasonable.
yeah.
I was gonna say, Danny, Joe has seen my room. It's like your room times 2.
I've seen all of our rooms. You have a whole house, Charles.
A condo, but
Same difference.
But no, like my bedroom was just a giant mess. I'm literally going through all these things. I got rid of an entire box of craft supplies and cosplay props I haven't used or worked on. Gave it away to Salvation Army, and I felt so good.
So there's this Forbes article that I actually did like. Now, granted, I didn't buy anything, but whenever I bought something, again, groceries, I took a double and put it into my savings and all that. And it really does show like, oh, that's technically how much I do have and all that. So then that's how it's like currently building up. So here's a little tactic for all you guys and those listeners out there. Whenever you buy something, put that double if you whatever you have and put it into your savings, because quite frankly it does, like, you're kind of like, okay, you're checking your checking account, you're just like, all right, but then you look at your savings, you're like, fucking A. It's like stacking. So it's a nice little tactic. Believe me, trust me, it does freaking work. So, but it makes you think twice. I'm like, I kind of don't need that. You always got to ask yourself why.
Like yes, we all like, because the four of us are big nerds. We like buying little collectibles here and there and whatnot. And I remember like when we started, like, okay, let's try not buying things for a little bit, just to test of willpower. I was at this Target out in Chandler, and I saw this new neon Captain America Funko Pop. Like, oh, I can add this to the collection, and I'm gonna sell this so I can like make room for more stuff. But then I thought about it as I was holding them. I'm like, wait, I would spend money to try and make money, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. That wouldn't work. So I put it back, and I just walked out of the store. So I'm like, oh, I'm trying to catch myself more with that stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to sell some of my collection so I can get more money for this trip, but also just try and get rid of stuff. Like, okay, I bought this like over a year ago. It's just sitting there. Yes, it's nice to look at, but that's it. It's just nice to look at. Like, yeah, my collectibles, my whole, like, wall of Funkos, my Godzilla action figures and stuff. I plan on keeping most of that stuff, but I'm still trying to get rid of what I'm like, okay, I bought you, you made me happy for, like, 3 months, and now you're just sitting there. I don't mind chucking you to, like, a secondhand bookstore or, like, a comic book shop, whatever. And it's like, okay, this is now I'm just starting to see the stuff I care about, not just like, okay, I bought it and this made me happy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've done that with my collection as well, where I'll look at something and I think to myself, do I still need this, or is it just something that was kind of cool for a little bit and I don't need it anymore? And if it hits that check mark, then I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah. Moving on to somebody else that can, use it, and get more appreciation out of it versus it just collecting dust in a bin or a box or somewhere. Right. And it really is, it's for me, it's liberating whenever you can clear out that stuff that you don't need anymore.
It really is.
Yeah, and you don't want to hoard all of it.
No,
Because, I mean, we've seen, if you've seen that South Park episode in Sheepshin, yeah.
No, I need the sandwich. No, I need that pencil.
Yeah, you always kind of like wonder, where the hell did it start and everything? But then it's kind of, it's kind of like a big Santa bag and all, to the point you're just like, just want to drop it, be like, no, I don't need that shit. Just leave it too. To the point you just leave it. Like, no, fuck the money and all that. Just get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I was in Walmart and I'm walking along and I see they had this little display there of like new Sonic the Hedgehog figures they had. And I was like, oh, these are so cool, and like it's bringing back that nostalgia of the characters when because it was like the OG Sonic, that the little round fat Sonic, and it's like, oh, it's so cool, and I'm just like, I don't need this. It's just gonna collect dust on my desk for a few months, and then I'm gonna get bored of it or whatever. I don't need this.
Right.
And I walked on by. I'm like, oh, hey, cool, look at that.
I kind of like that. I'm starting to do that more. Like, oh, that's cool. Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've had that happen like a lot more, especially like when you're browsing the internet and you see all that the cool stuff, and you're just like, yeah, it's cool. I don't need it.
Yeah, I kind of get that way with T-shirts and posters too, because I used to go hog crazy for posters and shirts at Comic-Con, and now I got so many of them that just sit in a box. I'm like, what am I doing with this? I'm at this point where I'm literally just about to take everything into a box and just throw it to the Salvation Army. Like, I got my G.I. Joe collection I hold near and dear to my heart, but it's something that hasn't been on the shelf, proudly displayed, and I haven't looked at it in years. I'm like, you know what? It's time to let it be passed on.
And just to add, and don't get us wrong or anything. I'm sure we do have collectibles that do equal, the amounts of money to get back, or probably more. But the thing is, of course, now with the fucking like caps with like eBay, eBay, Etsy, all those other sites, it just sucks now to the point you're just like, fuck it, no, I can't, or we can't. We just got to get rid of it. It's consuming so much room. You've guys seen, and it's just yeah, we've all said it. Like, just to recap, it's relieving. It really is.
Even Adam Savage, he made a video showing like he has his workshop, he has his warehouse where he builds all of his cool projects. And if there's so much of his supply, he has nothing to do with it or doesn't know what to do with it, he throws it away. It's like, okay, I'm not working on this.
Oh, come on, auction it off,
like
you bastard.
auction it off, or like give it away. Don't just throw it away.
Like scraps of foam he doesn't use, and
Okay,
it's been
well,
sitting there collecting
yeah.
dust. It's like I've been doing the exact same thing. So I'm looking at him and taking examples. I'm like, okay, if I'm not working on this, it's gone. But like other projects, because we're Ghostbusters and we love being Ghostbusters, I have 4 or 5 Neutrona ones from the MOD blasters, and I intend to modify those in the future as fun projects. But for right now, they're just sitting in a storage tub. But again, when it comes to collectibles, when it comes to toys, when it comes to being an adult, when it comes to having less to do more, that's where I think that this growth of mine is coming into play. Because again, Joe's training us, and I'm looking into the Air Force thanks to Joe. Like, I really think it's a cool opportunity. I really want to give it my best. And if I don't make it in, I don't make it in.
But at least you put in the effort towards
Yes,
it, though.
I'd rather put in the effort and put everything I got, and rather than sitting here saying, I don't know what I could have been.
Because really, I've seen it before with some people, and you really do not want to live a life of regret.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name these people because I respect them. I've been with these people. I know them ever since. But you could just see like that little death in their soul, like, and you just like, okay, I got to find an escape to actually do something.
Yeah.
There are things that I'm going to miss. There are things I'm probably going to get a little envy, but at the same time, I need to do what's best for me in the long run because you know, it's, let's just say it's kind of like the star character in the TV sitcom that needs to like back away and all that, like Steve Carell or Topher Grace in that 70s show. And hopefully we don't get canceled, but like, you know, like we just need to, we need to take a step back and have that reunion special, and who knows, maybe jump back into it, kind of like Galaxy Quest almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's a great setup right there.
But yeah, so like for me, I've had some like things that have happened in my life that were definitely pushing me out of my comfort zone. I actually have two ones that were fairly substantial, so I'll just go over them.
Please
So
share.
What's up?
Please share. I would
please
love to
share.
hear.
Okay, yeah. So the first one was, I think you guys probably know or have heard me talk about it. I was homeschooled from the 2nd grade on. So, and it was still a organized system in that I still bought like class, like textbooks, and there still was a lesson plan. It's just that everything was done at home. And there was I think it was called the Abeka like homeschool system. It was from like Pensacola, Florida. There was like a school there that had it. And what they would do is that they would record the classes, so like the teacher with the doing the lecture and everything, they would record them and put them on tapes, and then you would play the tapes each day. So you know, you had your history class, your math class, all the stuff like that. And I had my textbooks, my quizzes, my tests, I did homework assignments, that sort of thing. So it was a different environment. But the thing is that it was a different environment. It was just me and the lesson plans, and then if my parents happened to be around that day or whatever, or if they were at work or whatever. So when it came time for me to go into college, that was a big step out of my comfort zone, because now I am with other students.
Right.
Now it's,
A
I'm
live
having
teacher.
Exactly, a live teacher. I'm having to adhere to their schedule, not my schedule.
You don't get to pause the tape and go to the bathroom and then come right back. and continue with it.
Exactly.
You can't rewind it if you're like, oh wait, what was that section?
Exactly. So it was a big step out of my comfort zone.
It's a culture shock for you,
It was, yeah. And fortunately, my parents had a good idea to start me off in community college. So it was a smaller environment for me to get acclimated to and to adjust. And I think that was a great decision, because it made that transition easier,
Yeah.
And so then once I got used to that, I'm like, oh, okay, I can handle this. Then I moved, once I graduated from there, got, like all that low level class stuff that they have you do in college and transferred those credits over to ASU. It wasn't such a big shock. There still was a little bit because now you're going from a community college to the big university,
Yeah.
But that was one thing. And then for another thing, and this one's going to be a bit more serious, but I think it still is important, and hopefully maybe this story can also help others if they're going through rough times.
Okay.
But another big one that pulled me out of my comfort zone pretty harshly was when I lost both of my parents. And this was before I knew any of you guys.
Right.
Because, my parents were always around. And then, I lost my mom. And then several years later, I lost my dad. And right on the heels of after my dad had passed and, the burial and all that, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wow, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I am all alone. I didn't have any, relationship prospects. I had a pug, and I think I had 2 cats at the
I
time.
didn't know you had a dog.
And yes, I did. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I've had many dogs throughout my life, but anyway. And I'm just like, I'm in a sense alone. I know I have my friends from college that I still keep in contact with and everything, but right now it's just me. I had my house that I had just bought, and at that point, my parents had they had the place in Casa Grande. I bought my place in Gilbert, and then I said, hey, why don't you guys come live with me? I had a big house. It was over 2,000 square feet. I was like, why don't you come live with me? That way you're not having to spend your retirement funds paying for this house way out in Casa Grande, because I was in Gilbert.
Right.
And they said, okay, sure, because I had the space. Why not? And so now all of a sudden it's just me. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, where do I go from here? And it was a rough time. I'm just going to put it that way. It was a very rough time and in my life. And I'd had many evenings and even some days where I would just think what am I going to do from here? What am I going to do? And I know this may sound small, but it led to something bigger. I thought to myself, wait, I wanted to build a proton pack. I'm going to build that proton pack. And so I just dove headlong into basically the maker hobby.
Was that where the Cadillac came from?
Yes. Yes, that is where it came from. And I dove completely headlong into it, and I started, building it. It basically took over my kitchen and part of my garage as I was working on it. And I realized that I had skills that I didn't know I had. Or I learned things, oh, I don't know how to do this. And I looked up videos on how to do it. I got tools to be able to do it. I took my dad's old equipment and stuff that he used for crafting Kachina dolls and repairing various things. And I started using that to create my own craft. And when I got towards the latter end of creating the proton pack, it dawned on me. I was like, wow, if my dad could see me now, even though I wasn't the artistic one when it came to making, Kachina dolls or the art or hand drawing, things like that. I was building things, building props.
You had the hands of a tool to construct things.
Exactly. And I know my dad would have been so proud to see me making things like that. And it encouraged me to keep going. Hey, if I can build this, what else can I build? And then there was another step with that. It got me out of my shell in terms of not only did I start going out and getting into cosplay groups and things like that, So I'm getting out more, getting to know people. I got to know you guys.
It's
through
amazing
that.
how that journey started, too.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Thanks, Ghostbusters.
exactly.
If you take it down to the brass tacks like version of that story, in a way, Ghostbusters kind of saved you.
Yes, in a sense.
It's so bizarre that a simple thought like that just brings forth those creative flowing motions.
Yes.
A comfort zone that helped you grow.
Exactly. So, now I've made multiple props. I've gotten to know a bunch more people. I've gotten to, to do more things that I never thought I would have done. Even this podcast, doing things like that.
Amazing.
And-
Yeah.
And it's just, it's helped me grow and learn. And, now I've accepted, that moment that I had in my life and realized that it was an important stepping stone for me. And
Yeah.
I grew and learned from it. And, something as simple as a new hobby.
Yeah.
And there you go. And it's become something that's improved me.
So you build the Ghost Trap RTV. So what's next after this?
Well,
Build the actual Cadillac.
the
actual firehouse.
What's next, Egon?
Well, I do know that I still need to finish wrapping up the 2016 pack. That one was mid build, and I also started some prep work on making a bomb out of the those what are they called? Thermal detonator.
Oh, that's what you're using them for.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm still keeping a couple of the other ones for display because you got me several, Danny. Thank you, by the way. But I'm making a couple of them, and I'm gonna make them into kind of Star Wars-ish themed bombs, or at least one of them.
Gotcha.
And
That's
so
cool.
I've already got it sanded, and I'm starting to do a little early prep work on it.
And
So
you're still working on the slime blower, right? Or is that just shelved for the moment?
That's shelved at the moment. Yeah, I figured rather than having a bunch of projects going at once, I need to just pick a project, finish it, and then move on to the next one. Having too many projects going at once, it gets frustrating and kind of it starts, at least for me, it starts eating away at the edges of your I don't know, your being, and you're oh, I got so many things, irons in the fire, blah 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 blah. Just focus, get one thing done, move on to the next.
Yeah, I think one of us has a problem with that. Wouldn't you agree, Vinny?
How many projects do you have, by the way?
Okay, if you're gonna talk about it, what were you talking about?
Huh?
Danny, what were you saying that I have a problem with?
Starting multiple projects at the same time.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so it's this procrastination issue where I'll start on something, get 80-90% done, and I get bored right away. And I'm like,
Yeah, you better not get bored of this Air Force thing.
bitch. No, here's the thing. When it comes to work, when it comes to the Air Force thing, I know I can do it because I love the sense of just doing something that I'm a part of. But when it comes to my personal stuff, my projects, I get bored, I procrastinate, and then I move on.
Unless
to
you're
another
paid,
project.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all building new toys, is what it is.
Yeah. I will say this though, related to the topic of growth and finding your place in the world. When I started to cosplay, that was a whole different territory because when I started to meet Aaron Forster, who was the first Iron Man in Arizona, he was on a news article and all this stuff like that. When I first met him, he and everybody else said the same thing. I was the weirdest kid that they all met.
Still are.
I know.
And you wear it with pride.
Yep.
nothing has changed.
I'm like Seuss from Gravity Falls, where I'm just up top, dudes.
Check it out. Bud Island.
Say Butt Island one more time.
Bud Island.
Nice. But yeah, no, the cosplay community actually taught me as an individual who has autism how to actually socialize, how to actually talk to people, how to read people. And this was a really huge stepping stone for me, getting me out of my comfort zone, because when it came to talking to so many different people, it was really the biggest struggle. And I absorbed my personality from multiple different people that taught me how to.
Shows.
Yeah. I mean, one of the people that I hanged out with the most was this guy named Gus Matos, like very macho kind of dude. But he did teach me a lot about, seeing past nostalgia and seeing stuff for what it is. And, I will give him credibility to that he did help me grow as a person as well as other people as well. And now I'm my own individual. So
I would say for me, theater did a similar thing for me. Like, technically for me, it started in junior high with finding choir. And I was like, oh, I can sing a little bit. And then that became fun. Then I checked out the drama club. And then now here I am. Oh, my gosh. Now a decade later with my degree in theater and starting to act more again. And that's where I've made so many, like, foundational friendships. Like some friends I've made through theater now, I basically consider family for how long I've known. Like, heck, one of my friends, Jared, I've known him now for 10 and a half years. And we still, like, talk every once in a while. We still, like, hang out every once in a while. And we met we met in a show. I'm like, oh, okay, you're Jared. And then, like, the next show, like, oh, hey, Jared. And here we are. 10 years later, and we still talk to each other.
Yeah.
It'd only be Jared. Sorry, that jewelry song.
Okay,
well, Jared jewelry.
It wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
I'm just in my bubble over here listening to people's stories.
I'm in my comfort zone.
like for me, like even like with my friends, I know like I'll get invited to parties where like I know like 4 people and like probably one of the people who invited me, and then I'll just be like.
Yeah, and then there's even times where people you used to have comfort zones with, you realize the comfort zone's no longer there. You have to grow and progress and realize, okay, this is no longer my place. I must move on. So,
when it comes to friends like that, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you really thought you'd be with these people for a long time, but then they just kind of just stop.
Adios, Vinny. It was nice growing up. No.
I feel.
Don't leave me.
I feel like another comfort zone area. I think maybe a couple of us can relate to is relationships.
Oh God.
Yeah.
For me,
Let me get the whiskey. This is gonna be a long one.
No.
for me,
Go.
like for me, for an example, I'm currently in a relationship that's now past a year. It's been one of the like the longer, healthier relationships I've been in.
Yeah.
And yes, thankfully these 3
I'm
years.
gonna propose, and then
I'm talking about the but I will, why is it anytime I talk about a discussion where I have like the tiniest bit of passion behind you or you, Charles not so much, but you two always jump in with the little comments and then just the rousal of laughter for like 30 seconds.
Fear zone.
Danny.
You're not Eddie.
All right, but go on. Go on.
Where's the hair? If anyone, I'm Eddie. I have the closest hair.
Whatever. Go. Just go.
Anyway, back to it. But so yes, I've been in this relationship for over a year now. I've been friends with this person for 3 years, and now you 3 have become friends with her. And I will say, like, as of now, the 2 of us have started talking about like potentially living together, and that's a big step I hadn't considered, like when like dealing with relationships. I would say like even like community college and not high school, just university is like, oh, the prospect of having a girlfriend and then potentially living with said girlfriend, and then of course popping the question. Now, not at that stage yet, but it's now we're at that.
She's listening. Oh shit.
Not yet, not ever. I'm not going to discuss my. Anyway, but just the prospect of like having a significant other and living with said significant other for a deal of time before like actually like asking that question. It's in a way, it's both exciting and scary. It's like, oh, now I'm not living with a roommate. I'm living with someone I love. And that's a big step. It's just like, oh, the next step after this would be marriage. And yes, I'm absolutely open to that, but it's just like it's another big step, and like it's one of those things like, am I ready for this? I absolutely want to be ready for this, but it's another like it's an
Give it time is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like you're starting a brand new family, like maybe not like have kids right away, but like you and like a relationship that ends up in marriage. That's a new family. I mean,
Yep.
like, you have
Yeah.
your family you live with. Your partner has their family that they live with, but now you two are creating a family. And that's a big step.
Yeah.
No, definitely it is, and it's definitely something that you just take one step at a time. Try not to rush into it.
No, absolutely.
But I mean, for me as well, I could speak from that, having gone through the relationship, and then it ending due to her changing her mind, basically. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually discussed on the podcast what happened, but just in short, basically she admitted that she married me because she thought it would change her mind on her sexual preferences.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. And then when she finally admitted that she didn't really have like full feelings for me, it was too late. We couldn't get the marriage annulled and everything like that. But here I was like, oh, hey, I'm, I could see myself spending, the rest of my life with this person. Meanwhile, she's having these thoughts. And so, yeah. But I won't go off onto that too much. But I've gone through that whole process, and it definitely is. And even when, and I hope this never happens to you guys, and it sucks for anyone that does, but even when you get into that situation where like the marriage dissolves or whatever, even that feels like stepping out of the comfort zone, because now it's like you've gotten used to being with someone and expecting them to be there, and then all of a sudden now they're not.
Which is why it's important to build your own foundation.
Exactly. Yes, your foundation needs to be set first.
Yes.
Because a significant other can help you improve.
Oh yeah.
But they shouldn't be the one to fix you.
No.
We're correct.
They should be the one to help
To
bring
support
out
you.
something. Yes, to bring out something in you that you didn't know you had, or they can also help cover for those things that maybe you're just not very good at.
Right.
And so yeah, it's
all
Yeah,
part.
there you go.
It's all part of the growth within comfort zone and all
It
that whole
is.
topic.
It
Like
is, definitely.
basically, one of the things that you guys are talking about that we all talk about, it's the risk, the fear, and above all else, the progression of making ourselves into a different person.
The big leap of
Yeah,
faith.
the leap of
whatever-
faith.
whatever
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
into.
That's what I was trying to get to. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, the leap of faith is probably the most important things about all this. It's, through our progressions in life, faith alone is one of the most important things to have. Not just faith that things will work out, but faith in yourself that you'll be able to progress as a person, not fall through the cracks, and pick yourself up and just dust it off. Like, that is such an important thing that everybody, I think, needs to know. And that's why I brought this topic up, because I feel like anybody who's listening out there could use a little bit of guidance like this. And hearing all of us today, we all have different experiences that kind of help touch bases on that. And I really I hope that this helped people see things in a different light.
Yeah, exactly.
So does anybody have anything else to say before we sign off?
Other than what's next from all four, with all of us, actually.
Just continuously cleansing my palate, saving up, and again, working hard on the Air Force thing.
Yeah. Danny?
Hoping to advance paths in my current job. Hoping to keep moving forward with my girlfriend, and then just going from there, really.
Charles?
Well, for me, it's continuing on with exercising and working to improve myself health wise, because I'm starting to feel better,
That's good.
And I'm enjoying that, so I want to keep doing that. I definitely want to keep improving with my own job, and see where that takes me, because I've little things in the back of my head is like, it might not be a bad idea to maybe look into management, project managers, something like that, in the company. But that's a little further down the road. I still love being the engineer working the code and everything like that. But
Right.
maybe move it up in the company, because I know that's been discussed briefly, like when I was like about midway through like where I'm at with where I'm working. And it's a thought that's always stuck in my head, because I know a few people have said, hey, you know what, you would be a pretty good manager. So I don't know.
In time.
In
time.
time, exactly. Eventually, get back into dating, and I haven't put much effort into it. I really should.
One step at a time.
Exactly. So things like that, and definitely getting out of the condo. That was a bit of a mistake due to said earlier relationship. And I want to get a house again. And
That's good.
So
Definitely get a house.
yeah, which actually, I mean, I've even been playing around with the idea of starting to look into that after our trip, actually. So
That's good.
Nice.
So that's why I've just been kind of like, making sure I am saving up, because that house isn't going to be cheap,
Right.
Especially here. Yeah.
especially here.
It's
But-
all about taking that first step.
exactly. But definitely getting out of that and getting back into a house versus the condo. So that's kind of what I'm aiming towards, is just self improvement, one step at a time. Keeping that momentum going.
Right. All right, guys. So I'm going to cut this off right now and say that is our episode for today of the Petty Cash Podcast. I am Vinny, a.k.a. VCG Cosplay.
I'm Charles.
This is Joseph.
And this is Danny.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, to always slow down and chew your food.